Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, my boos. How y'all feeling today? I'm feeling pretty good. Today is a lax day, so no, I don't have no earrings or no nothing on today. I'm coming to y'all bandy as ever. But that's okay. Welcome back to my channel with customized juice, cost-effective crafting. I am Miss Juicy. If you don't know, boo, now you know. Today on episode 9, I will be teaching you how to print and cut out your image. Yes, ma'am. So we did all the steps. We imported, we cleaned up, we contoured. Now today I'm going to show you how to print your images out and cut them. So if you are ready to learn how to print and cut, keep tuned and yeah, watch this video. Oh, but before I let you go, if you find anything helpful in any of my videos, please like, comment, share, and subscribe so I can grow and I can give you some more content to help you learn design stuff a bit better. All right, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever this video is reaching you, I'm hoping it's reaching you in good health. Welcome back to my channel, Customized Juice, Cost-Effective Crafting with Miss Juicy. I am Miss Juicy. If you don't know, now you know. Today on episode 9, we will be talking about print and cutting your image. I actually had to print some labels out for some of my orders. Excuse me. And I thought this would be the perfect time to show you guys how you can print and cut your images. So, of course, when you start Design Space, you're going to start with a blank screen. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to upload the images that you're going to want to print and cut. So, for me, I am working on some stuff for my business. So, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the image that I need. Okay, now that I've found my image, I'm going to go ahead and import that into my screen. So today I will be making some labels that I put on the bottom of my cups, or some on the bottom of my rolling trays, or even some labels that I put on my packages when I send them out. So the first thing I'm going to do is, as you can see here with print and cut, it will cut out this image. And it will cut out those little circles as well. I don't want those little circles because what will happen is it'll be detached from the rest of the picture. So what I normally do is I add a background to my actual image. That way it's all one photo. So I'm going to go ahead over here to shapes. I'm going to pick the square. And I'm going to go and I'm going to pick a circle. So for the bottom of my cups, they're normally about 2 inches to 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to leave this circle at 2 inches. I'm going to take the image that I want to add. I'm going to duplicate it because, of course, I need square and I need circle. So what you want to do is you want to fit your image. If you want to use a backdrop, you want to fit your image to your the shape that you want to use. So for right now, just for to get it on there the way I want to, I'm going to make my circle larger so I can work a little better with my image. I'm going to bring it to the front of the circle, and I'm going to size in my logo. So, of course, if I were to print it out just like this, this background would be gray, and then you would see my logo on top. So what I want to do is I want to change my circle to purple. Now that I have my background the color I want it, and I have my logo on top the way that I want it, I'm going to go ahead and highlight both and flatten it. Now that this is flattened, it has turned this image into a print and cut image. So now when it cuts out of my Cricut machine, it's going to cut this circle. So I'm going to go ahead and size this back down to about 2 inches. So now I have created my circle logo that I want to put on the bottom of my cups. So the next one I want to do is for my labels for my packages that I ship out. So I do want to make this elongated. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock my shape, and I'm going to make it a bit longer. I'm going to take my image, place it over top of the elongated shape, and then I'm going to fit it inside of that shape. There we go. Again, I want to change my background to purple. And I want to go ahead and highlight both and flatten. Now I want to resize this because of course you don't need that large of a tag on your packages or whatever you might be putting them on. So I'm going to take it down to about 3 inches there. All right, so now that I have both of my labels that I want to put on my packages or on my cups, I'm going to come back over here to the shapes, because with print and cut, you only, in Cricut, you only have so much space that you can print out. Now normally a piece of paper or a piece of your labels or whatever it might be, the size of the sheet might be 8.5 by 11. Well, Cricut does not allow you to print out 8.5 by 11. I have seen some people print out 8.5 by 11, but I'm not sure why my system won't allow me to do it. So what I do is I put in a backdrop of the size, the largest size that it will allow me to print, and then I put the labels on that particular shape. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to hit square again. And I'm going to turn this square into a print then cut. So you come up here to your operations, underneath basic cut, you go down and you hit standard underneath print and cut. So now this square, as you can see on the right hand side, it now says print and cut. So if you make this large, you see this this caution arrow over here. If you click on it, it will tell you the size that you can actually print. So it says image too large, reduce image size to 6.75 by 9.25 or less. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to unlock the square, and I'm going to type in 6.75, hit enter, hit tab to 9.25, and then hit enter. So now this shape is the exact shape that will allow me to print out in Cricut. So of course you can't see from top to bottom. So what I want to do is go down here to your zoom button, and I want to zoom out to about 75%. So now I can see my square, and I'm able to go ahead and add my labels to the square the way I want to. So I'm going to go ahead and bring these to the front, or actually I'm going to send this image to the back. So I'll click on it, hit send to back. So now that is the last thing on the page, and I'm going to go ahead and move my labels on to the shape. So when you print and cut, if you don't want to waste any, you might be using vinyl or sticker paper or whatever materials that you're using, you're not going to want to waste. So you want to put as much on here as you possibly can. Okay, so now that I have my labels on this shape, I know now that when I put these together, it will print out of my printer with enough space. It won't be over the mounted a lot of space that I was given, and I can rest easy that all of these will be on one sheet. So once you have actually lined up your images or whatever you're printing onto your guide, you can go ahead and move your guide out the way. And then you're going to want to go ahead and highlight all of the images. Now, once it's together, so once they're all together, you want to hit attach. So now, I know in previous videos I said you can't attach and it'd be separate colors, but once it is a print and cut image, you can absolutely attach them together because it's not a individual cut project. It is an image. So you can attach other images if you're going to print them out. So now that my images, now that my logos are now that my logos are able to be printed out, and you see we're at 6.611 by 9.065, we know it's not too large for the printer. We can go ahead and either hide this guide or delete it. I'm just going to hide it, and we're ready to print. So what you do now is you go over here to make it. Now your images will be ready to print out. It will print out. It will load up here on your mat. Your mat will pop up and it'll show here print and cut on the left hand side beside your image that you want to print. So at this point, you're ready to print out your images through your computer. Now, depending on the settings of your computer, this is where you would manipulate the settings if you need to. So I'm going to go ahead. We don't need to mirror it because we're not putting this on anything where the image will be flipped upside down. So we're going to go ahead and hit continue. If you have multiple printers, this is where you would choose the printer that you would like to print your image from. I do have 2 printers, so I will go in and I will hit send to printer. Okay, so once we hit send to printer, it'll come up your print setup. Now this right here is my sublimation printer, so of course I'm not going to want to print these from there. So what I'll do is I'm going to hit use system dialog. If you click this, this is where it gives you the option to change your settings on your printer. So even though this is not the printer that I want to use right now, I can change it once I go into my system dialog box. So I'm going to go ahead and hit turn that on, and then I'm going to hit print. Also, really quick, where it says add bleed, the add bleed, I always print with bleed because it gives that extra color around your image versus it being just exactly the circle. If you have that little extra around the side, just in case your cut's a little off or something, it gives you that little extra color around each image. So I always leave my add bleed on, but you also can, you can change that if you like. So I'm going to hit print. Okay, so now our system dialog box pops up. Here is where you would manipulate the settings for your printer. That would be a different video to go over, but I already have a preset in my computer for the way I like to print my labels or my photos or anything that I like to use. So what I would do is I would go up here to my Canon printer. I would click that. Then I would hit my preferences. So if you have a certain set that you would like, setting that you would like for your printer, they would be listed underneath your preferences. So when you hit your preferences, everything that you have set up will be here under the commonly used settings. These are your templates or your settings that you set up yourself. I always print my my labels and my images for my rolling tray on trays because I have set up the way I like them to print. I'm going to hit vivid, and then I'm going to go down here to high. I print mine from the back of my printer because to me it gives a brighter image. So depending on how your printer is set up, you would have to figure out the settings for your particular printer. I always hit preview before printing. That way it allows me to see if anything's cut off, if everything shows up correctly, just to make sure that it's ready to be printed the way I want it. And then I hit OK. Now once you hit OK, it'll take you back to your printer, your system dialog box. You also have to hit print from here as well. So before it actually prints out of your printer, it will bring up the preview mat. So this preview mat shows you how your images will look on the actual printout. So you can see if there's anything missing, if anything's cut off. Like here, I can see it's touching a little bit, but with it being purple on both sides, I really don't think that's going to matter. But just in case, if that's something that you wouldn't want, this is the perfect time for you to go back and correct it. So now that I see that everything is the way I want it to print, I will just go ahead and hit start printing. So at this point, the image will print on my computer, and we'll move over to the table so I can show you how I put my image on my mat and load it into the Cricut machine. Okay, so now we're over at my table. I do apologize for the lighting over here because my ring light broke. So we're dealing with what I have to deal with. So and again, I'm sorry for my mat. I use it all the time. It's beat up. It's, you know, it's terrible. So I am working with one hand. So I went ahead and prepped my mat so I'm able to put my image onto my Cricut mat. Now, as you can see, my mat is not very sticky. So what I do is I use double-sided tape. And you can get this from the Dollar Tree if you find that your mat is not sticking well. I have seen other videos where they show you how to clean the mats, but that never really worked for me. So I just started to go ahead and get the double-sided tape because I use my mats until there's nothing left. So I've prepped it, and if you can see, I have put some double-sided tape on the mat to where my image will be able to lay on top of my mat and still stick. So I'm going to go ahead and add my image to my mat. You want to make sure you line it up in the corners because if not, the Cricut will not read it correctly. Okay, so now it's on the mat and it's ready to be cut. So we're going to move over to the Cricut machine. Okay, again, I am one-handed, so I had to go ahead and put it in the machine. So as you can see here, the white tabs on your Cricut, you want to make sure that your mat is securely under both, so when you feed it into your machine, it has a hold of the mat. So you want to go ahead and hit your flashing button. It will pull your mat into the machine. You want to hit your C, and now what it's going to do is it's going to go over the mat and it's going to make sure all the lines line up, and it's able to cut it out the way you want. Okay, so now that it has viewed the whole mat, it's giving me an error. So something must not be lined up correctly. So what I'll have to do is take the mat back out and I'll have to reline the photo. Alrighty, I have taken the mat out. I've went ahead and picked up the image and laid it down again on the mat. Of course, I didn't think you guys wanted to see that, so I did that off camera. But now that it's lined back up, we're going to try this again. We're going to hit the C. And let's see if it registers this time. Okay, so this time it registered. So as you can see now, the Cricut has went ahead and started cutting out the image. So I'm going to fast forward this part because you really don't have to see it. Okay, now our machine has cut out our image and you are completed with this project. So let me go ahead and see if I can peel one off with one hand so you can see. And there you have it. So I use sticker paper because, of course, actually this is printable vinyl. Because I put these on my letters, my boxes and things like that, and with it being vinyl, I don't have to worry about the ink being smeared or anything if it gets wet. So guys, that is how you cut and print your image, and I also showed you how you cut it out of your Cricut machine. If you found this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, please like, comment, and share, and subscribe to this video or my channel so I can keep bringing you content that will be helpful and useful to you through your Cricut journey. Until next time, guys, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and just stay you. Peace.